damage last night. There were at least 3 other houses that sustained moderate or greater damage. This is the house where we did 5 rescues. All 5 of those adult individuals are doing well today. Sustained minor injuries, but did need to be extricated by our technical rescue team in Montgomery County Fire Rescue. The other homes, there was an assisted rescue, but the other homes I think were much less severely damaged, and little assistance was needed there. We had about at peak, we had about 1,000 power outages across the county. We're down to a couple hundred at this point, and those will come back online. As you can probably hear in the background, there are a number of crews out this morning doing work, removing trees from roadways and from power lines as well. So that work will continue. Last night, during the height of the storm, between about 6 o'clock and about 8:30, the Emergency Communications Center received over 100 calls for service. Those dispatched to 88 different events, 35 of which were definitely storm-related, although others may have been tangentially connected to the storm. We got incredibly lucky in Montgomery County with 2 different tornadoes coming during the peak of rush hour, evening rush hour, and when people are home having dinner in their homes. We were just very fortunate that the damage in Montgomery County was not substantially worse. We had storms tracking all the way across west to east in the county, from Poolsville to Germantown, here in Gaithersburg, and across to the only Brookville area, and obviously could have had a substantially greater amount of damage. So the rest of the day today is going to be focused on cleaning up the storm damage, getting roadways, the few roadways that are still closed, open, clearing out wires and trees, and obviously assisting the families whose homes were more severely damaged, making sure they've got a place to go for the next several days, get them settled, and work with the American Red Cross and our Department of Health and Human Services to provide them with the support that they're going to need moving forward. That's all we have this morning, but happy to take any questions.
Dr. Stoddard, was there anybody else other than the 5 injuries from this house, anybody else injured throughout Montgomery County?
So we had a number of personal injury crashes, of which, obviously the crashes are some of them which are storm related because of, could have been debris in roadways, people making emergency decisions, but none that I'm aware of specifically being obviously transports to the hospital.
Any safety tips, anything?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. So safety tips, obviously, if you're cleaning up, be very cautious. I would anticipate we will see some injuries today from people cleaning up things in their yard. Be safe. If you're going to be up on ladders, removing trees, make sure you do so in a safe manner with an appropriate setup. If you do see still any down wires today, make sure you've called them in first before you go and just assume you can cut them down. We don't want, obviously, people to sustain injuries today during the cleanup, but that is something we are concerned about.
And Dr. Stoddard, any idea, I know it's super early, about how much this is going to cost?
Yeah, it is super early because obviously we're still getting out. There were, across the state of Maryland, they're estimated at least probably 15 different tornadoes. That's what National Weather Services, they're going to confirm those today. And so, statewide, I'm not sure whether we'll reach the necessary damage thresholds for any sort of declaration across the country. But it's going to be, depending on the homes, it's going to be, it's several $1 million, but we'll have a better number for that later today, I think.
And I know I was one of those that my phone was going off, it was alerting. That system worked for me, and knew to go downstairs into the basement, take cover. After action, you feel like the alert system, the warning system, acted as it should have? Yeah,
we had a lot of people asking questions saying, "Oh, I didn't get tornado warnings where I'm at." Well, actually, they're very geolocated, so we actually connect directly with the National Weather Service. Our Alert Montgomery system interfaces directly with them. We also have the wireless emergency alert system. I was actually in the Kentlands in Gaithersburg last night for a dance event with my daughter, and during that I received a wireless emergency alert while sitting in my car, and immediately moved inside to a store which had an indoor space. And so it worked as far as we can tell. We'll obviously make sure that that's the case for everybody, but it's one of those things where we've planned to prepare. Our Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security is long prepared for these events, and we've actually minimized any human necessity in the process, so that it's a very seamless process that goes quickly without really any need for very minimal mistakes can happen.
Do you know if these alerts, are they supposed to, even if you're asleep, even if, that's always been my biggest fear, that one of these things will happen when in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And are the alerts supposed to go off even if your phone is in a sleep mode or that sort of thing?
Yeah, so the wireless emergency alerts, anyone who's connected to a cell tower, whether you registered or not, this is the national service, much like the Amber Alert system, where it'll give you the pretty loud, obnoxious tone, and that should wake up just about anybody if you receive those. And that's only going to go for a warning, meaning there's an imminent risk of a tornado striking your residence at that time. That's why we have that alert system, and it is quite loud, so I think it'd be very difficult. The only way you would not get those alerts is if you've gone in and deactivated specifically within your phone to turn it off.
You talked about the potential for 2 tornadoes. Can you talk to us about those, how close they were together? I know the National Weather Service is still doing their assessments, but how long were they on the ground? How much other damage did they cause? Just talk about the specifics of the weather.
Yeah, what we believe is the first tornado actually came across from Leesburg, across Poolesville, into Germantown, and we think that's where it ended. The other one came Gaithersburg across 270 to where we're at today, and proceeded across to the only Brookville. This seems, based on initial, this may have been actually the smaller of the 2 tornadoes, but that'll come out today later in terms of they'll assess the wind speeds and things of that nature. But obviously west-east is, it's a pretty long distance for 2 tornadoes to travel.
And you're saying the National Weather Service is already saying preliminarily EF1 for both of them?
Yeah, that's the preliminary for this site. I don't think they've made it up. They hadn't made it up to Poolesville as of last night, and so they'll make that assessment today. But they base that a lot on, you have to look at the trees and the nature of the damage, and that will help them understand exactly what the wind speeds were likely at the time. And so obviously by the time they got out here last night, it was already dark, so they'll be out again today helping us do the assessment, tracking the route of the storms, things of that nature.
But just confirming, because there's been a question about the exact number of tornadoes. 2 is what
We believe 2. I mean, it could end up being more than 2, but we think at least 2 in Montgomery County at this point. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Sure, yes. Joseph, they're going to come to me, so come this way.
Hey, give me a second. They can wait. Yo te entregarán a Molly, send another